Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my video. So this will be part 4 of the Pinkie Pie tutorial. So far you should have the body, the head, as well as 2 back legs. So now in this part of the tutorial we will be making the front legs. So I already have one made and I'm going to make one with you, and then you guys are going to have to go back and make another one. Okay, so we're going to start off with our magic ring again. So on your hook, take a band and wrap it around 3 times, creating 3 loops. And get my camera to focus. It doesn't like to focus all the time. I'm noticing. Okay, and we're going to do 6 loops around 6 stitches. So put your first band in and create that slip knot. Go back in all 3 loops, pull it through, reclaim the end, and then pull that through the 2 that you have on there. And again, so that was 2. Three, back in, 4, 5, and 1 more time, and 6. So now we're going to take our C-clip and put it on that last stitch as our stitch marker so we can keep track of our rounds. So now you'll have 1, 2, 3, whoops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on your hook is 6. So now in the next round we are going to do an increase in every stitch for a total of 12. So 1, go back in that same stitch, and 2, 3, go back in, that's 4, 5, go back in, that's 6, 7, go back in, that's 8, 9, go back in, that's 10, and then the last increase here, so 11, and 12. So now we'll just move that C-clip again. Okay, so now we're going to start to try and get it to look more of a hoof shape, not quite so round. So we'll do 2 single stitches in the first 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. Now here we're going to do an increase of 3. So we're going to put 3 stitches in the 1 stitch here and here. So 1, go back in, 2, go back in again a 3rd time, and then we'll do that again on the next stitch. So 1, go back in, 2, and 1 more time, go back in, and 3. Now for the last 8 stitches we are just going to do an increase in every one. So 1 and 2, next one, 1, go back in, that's 2, 1, go back in, okay, and last one. Okay, and move our stitch marker. Alright, so now you'll see it's kind of getting a little bit of a hoof shape with a flatter end here. Okay, so the next round we're going to do 5 single stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then here we're going to do an increase twice, so on these next 2, so just 2 stitches in each of the stitches. So 1, go back in, that's 2, go on to the next one, 1, go back in that stitch, and that's 2. Now on this one little stitch here, we're going to do an increase of 3 stitches. So 1, 2, go back in one more time, and that's 3. And then we're going to do an increase of 2 twice again. So over the next 2 stitches here. So there's 1, go back in, that's 2, and go to the next one. Be careful, some of these stitches might look kind of small and you don't want to miss one because then it makes your count go funny. So you really want to make sure here that you don't skip or miss any stitches. Okay, and then we're just going to do a single stitch in the rest of them to finish off the round. There should be 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and last one is 14. Okay, move our stitch marker again. Don't worry if it's not laying flat again. Once you start going up the leg, it will start laying flat. So you still kind of have that hoof shape. Okay, so now for this next round, we're going to go from doing the bottom of the hoof to up the leg. So in order to do that, what we need to do is just go in each of the stitches. You have the 2 sides you can see here. So you just want to take the outside one and only work on the one. So not both. You want to just take that outside one. And we're just going to go all the way around on that outside loop in single stitches. And what this does is it kind of makes it so the bands after this will go straight up, and then it forms a nicer leg. And again, if you hear little voices in the background, that's just my kids wandering around. In order for me to do these tutorials, I don't really get kid free time as they're here all the time, so I'm just kind of trying to work this around when they have their quiet time or nap times. Of course, it doesn't always work out. We almost have all the parts finished. After the legs, I think we just have the neck and the ears to make, and so we're getting close. This was quite the project to design. Unfortunately, when I make these projects for my kids, I don't generally write down as I make them. I just kind of try and wing it. Okay, move your stitch marker when you're at the end of that round. And now what we're going to do is the same amount of stitches, single stitches all the way around, except you're going to do it in both the loops now, not just the one now, but you're going to do it in, make sure you have both loops on this time. I'm thinking if I can figure out how I made them the first time, I'll probably do my next tutorial on the Barney that I made. But I've also been asked if I could create an Olaf and a Hello Kitty. So I might work on those and a couple others. We'll see what we can come up with. So I'm still trying to learn some of the techniques for, like, if faces have puffy cheeks. I'm not quite sure how to get that puffy cheekness yet. So, but it's just a matter of playing with the increases and decreases as you're working along in each round. So hopefully here I'll figure it out. And this leg on this project is going to have another tedious part where it's just a lot of rounds of the same thing. because we don't need to make the bent part on this leg, so it's just going to go straight up. Alright, so now once again we're going to move the stitch marker. Okay, it should start to lay flatter now. You'll have something like that. So for the next round we're going to do 3 stitches and then a decrease. So 3 single stitches and a decrease, and do that, repeat that pattern all the way around. So 1, 2, 3. So here we're going to do a decrease. So you go in 1 stitch, come back around, and in the 2nd stitch. And then we're going to pull a band through both of those to pull it together. Okay, so that was 1. So 1, 2, 3, and then go back in and do your decrease on that one. Okay, and again 1, 2, 3, and then here we'll do a decrease again. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and then here we'll do a decrease again. And 1, 2, 3, and a decrease. And one last time. 1, 2, 3, and then another decrease. And we'll just move our stitch marker again. Alright, so now we're just going to do the next rounds the same as what we just did, so single stitches all the way around, and you want to do 20 rounds of that where it's all the same. And what you can do is just again use your stitch markers to mark all your rounds so that you don't lose track of where you are, or you can do tally marks as well, and then that way you can just keep track, because this does take a little while. So I'm going to start this round with you, and then I'm going to pause the video and you guys can finish it at your own pace and then meet me back. So again, just do the single rounds all the way around for 20 rounds. And that way the legs are all even. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video now. Meet me back when you have those 20 rounds finished. Alright, so welcome back everyone. So at this point you should have a leg that looks like this. I'm just going to put my last stitch in here. Figured I'd finish these rounds with you. So instead of moving my stitch marker here at the end, I'm just going to take it off, and then I'm going to go into the first stitch again, and I'm just going to tie it off with a slip stitch. So go through all the bands, grab the end and pull it through. Okay, so now at this point we're going to grab our polyfill stuffing again, And again, just like the back leg, you want to make sure you stuff it firmly, but not too full so that you don't get the big holes. You kind of move it around so that you can get the shape going for the leg and get all the bands smoothed out. Okay, kind of roll it around to make sure it's all even and not too full. Okay, there you go. So again, I made my second one already, so you guys need to go back to the beginning of this video and make your second leg, and then I'll see you over in the next video.